With outdoor temperatures hitting 100 degrees Fahrenheit, New York City feels like a furnace in the sweltering summer heat. Amid this stifling heat wave, Eddie's Sweet Shop, a century-old ice cream parlor in Forest Hills, becomes the perfect haven, drawing locals during these harsh summer days. Intense heat is gripping many areas in the U.S. A heat advisory was issued for the lower Hudson Valley on July 25th, with temperatures expected to exceed 32 degrees Celsius, and the heat index potentially surpassing 38 degrees Celsius. The National Weather Service, NWS, also issued an excessive heat warning for parts of southern Connecticut, northeastern New Jersey, and downstate New York, effective from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday. According to NWS data, extreme heat is one of the leading weather-related causes of death in the U.S., with over 1,000 fatalities annually. Excessive heat can cause serious health issues for vulnerable groups, including the elderly, children, pregnant women, people with chronic illnesses, and low-income or homeless individuals without access to cool spaces. Heat-related illnesses, particularly heat exhaustion and heat stroke, can occur when temperatures exceed 90 degrees Fahrenheit, about 32 degrees Celsius. The U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration recommends scheduling frequent breaks in shaded or air-conditioned areas for those working outdoors. On a sweltering summer day, Eddie's Sweet Shop welcomed patrons seeking relief from the heat with its refreshing ice cream. Located in Forest Hills, New York City, the city's oldest ice cream parlor is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year.
We're celebrating 100 years serving Forest Hills community. So this refrigerator is over 80 years old, and this is the secret that's always inside.
What's that?
So we have our hand whipped cream when it first comes in, and when all the customers get to eat it.
Wow. It's so nice. The silver bowl, so I can just take the whole thing.
Well, I have memories of my dad taking me here as a kid because it was around when he was a child and when my mom was a child. So I have fond memories from when I was little coming here, and I was telling my friends about it, and one of them had never been here, so we're all meeting here today to have some ice cream and catch up. We would come here and we would go to the movie theater across the street, and we would see a movie. So it was like one of those afternoons, especially in the summertime, where you're off from school and you're celebrating that, and then you have some ice cream and you go to the movie theater and you see one of those summer blockbuster movies and just have so much fun. So I have those memories.
Perfect. Movie and ice cream.
Exactly. My two favorite things.
Justin Monaco, a Queens resident, brought his 1-year-old daughter Sophia to the shop and shared,
"Well, it's a hot day out and figured we could use something refreshing, but also because this store has been a staple. I remember coming here when I was a little boy, and it's been here forever, and my dad used to take me here, so just want to keep that tradition going and spending quality time with my family, but also coming to a place that's a staple of Queens."
Citrano said that many details such as the doors, ceiling, counter, and some dishware remain unchanged from the time of the original owner. However, he also shared that the ice cream recipe is now even better than before.
My father bought it in 1968, so there were 3 different owners before that. So we started over in 1968, and we kept the tradition going, and that's what we're trying to do till today. As soon as you walk through that door, or right before you walk through that door, because that's still the original door, And as you walk through, this is exactly how it was almost 100 years now. You can look right here, it's a lot closer, see it's all inlaid. Original marble counter. They really don't do it like this anymore where it's level, beveled here and this way. They don't do that anymore. We know, how we know? Because we had a movie shoot here and they broke it and we could not replace it.
How about the recipes?
Well, we've tweaked them, we've made them better. But we still keep the same kind of flavors. I think there was about 7 flavors when we took over. Now we have about 17 that are constant. And then in the summer we do peach and blueberry.
I really like how you feel like you're at home and that it brings you back to a time from the past, and it feels so traditional, and it's like you're stepping away from all of the modern world and everything that brings, and just having a time to relax and be with friends.
I like the simplicity of it. I also really love the architecture here because this is something like you'll never find this anywhere else. Like especially having moved out, you don't see stuff like this anywhere else.
We haven't seen a great increase. We really can't complain. Business has been really good. The weather has been a little shaky because of the rain, but the sales are still, pretty strong.
It's really wonderful that a tradition can stay alive in that way, that many generations can share the same experience and have these wonderful memories that then they pass on to their children.
Can you wave hi? She's shy. But she definitely likes her ice cream.
Eddie's Sweet Shop is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, welcoming customers from Wednesday to Sunday from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. When a Reuters reporter visited at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, the shop quickly filled with patrons escaping the heat and enjoying the nostalgic atmosphere. On July 24th, the New York Independent System Operator stated that it was prepared to meet electricity demand as a heat dome moving through southern states was expected to raise temperatures in their region. The forecasted peak electricity demand was 29,000 megawatts. A latest summer reliability assessment reported that the state has 40,937 megawatts of available power resources, with an additional 3,159 megawatts that can be mobilized in emergencies to ensure grid reliability when needed. New York recorded a peak demand record of 33,956 megawatts at the end of a week-long heat wave in July 2013. Meanwhile, Europe is bracing for its hottest heat wave of the year, with temperatures expected to reach extreme levels in the coming days, threatening grid stability, increasing wildfire risks, and impacting public health. According to Italy's meteorological agency Il Meteo, temperatures in Sicily this week could soar to 45 degrees Celsius, the highest in Italy since 2024. Approaching the European record of 48.8 degrees recorded on the island in 2021. Meteorologists warned that extreme heat and drought could strain power grids due to increased energy demand, while significantly heightening wildfire risks in southern regions. Wildfires, one of many disasters becoming more frequent and severe due to climate change, have claimed dozens of lives across Los Angeles in January 2025. The fires devastated residential areas, leaving apocalyptic scenes in their wake. Authorities reported that at least 12,300 structures were damaged or destroyed. Climate change is making weather hotter and drier, creating conditions for wildfires to spread faster, burn longer, and become more intense. Higher temperatures also cause vegetation to lose moisture. This means vegetation is more likely to catch fire, burn more easily, and essentially makes wildfires more likely to ignite.
So all the weather extremes that we're seeing are currently occurring in a warmer atmosphere and also with warmer oceans and in an atmosphere that can actually carry more moisture. So all these actually contribute to the fact that heat waves, as we've experienced them in the past, become more intense and obviously also more frequent. Heavy rainfall events can also be more intense because the atmosphere can carry more moisture. And interestingly, the same effect, the fact that the atmosphere can carry more moisture also implies that it can actually extract more moisture from the vegetation and from the surface, and therefore also may make droughts more intense. So wildfire are a complex type of event. So there are many factors playing in. That's the management of the forest. That's where we build our homes, how much they are affected. But climate change can also play in a role into all of this. And that's particularly that wildfire, that means very warm temperatures and very dry atmosphere, becomes more frequent. And the reason is really typically the atmosphere that warms could actually take up more water, which also makes it, as a colleague of mine recently called it, thirstier. So it means that it can actually extract more moisture from the vegetation, from the surface. And that just means that this vegetation becomes easier to ignite, easier to burn. And that basically makes it easier for wildfires to spread. So climate change really changes the odds, the probability of these events to occur. So while we know that heat waves and droughts and heavy rainfall have happened in the past for hundreds of years, today they become more frequent. That's really to do with the warming climate, the warming atmosphere that just intensify. It's only one factor in the whole discussion of weather and climate extreme, but it can make the events more frequent. We've been observing a clear intensification or a clear increase in the number of heat waves over Europe. We've seen more frequent heavy precipitation events, and in some regions we've already witnessed more dry occasions of the land surfaces. So what used to be a very rare event has become much more frequent. For instance, heat waves, as they occurred only once in 50 years, they already today have become 5 to 10 times more frequent, and this trend will continue as the climate continues to warm.